so far?
But as the tornadoes come through Adel and Albany also, we were dispatched early Sunday morning to Adel for a confirmed tornado touchdown. We assembled the team, rostered everybody up, and got on the truck, and we were actually assembling the team as we were en route up there. And when we arrived, that's when we saw we had some pretty significant devastation up there in Adel.
What do you do once you get there? What does the team do?
The team, first thing we do is we survey what we got, scene safety, we look around, see what else going on. What I had to do is there were so many resources up there other than us. I had to kind of get everybody together to get a unified command together so we could tell what they needed, what had been done, were there anybody potentially missing, what the location where we could start looking at. And just as soon as our feet hit the ground there, they came to us and said they knew where one person was at, and they were trying to get him out underneath some debris. And the guys went over there while I was getting unified command together to get things rolling.
How vital is what you guys do to a community like Adel who might not have those resources, and you guys come in and help potentially save lives or find loved ones?
It's very, very vital. They didn't realize that this equipment was here for them. The team is for this, for Area 6 for Georgia. They didn't realize that when we come in, that this equipment is their equipment too. It's federal and state funded, and when they realized, of course it was after that this task force is here for them to use as they need. They felt more comforted on what was going on, because it was just total chaos. There's no really way you could prepare for something on this scale, and they were working as hard as they could with what they had. And when we come in with the equipment and the manpower and the training and all that, it just made everything even better.
When you see the people that need it and you guys come in, what's kind of the reaction that, oh, we're finally getting help? Or even the first responders, you guys help as well. What's that reaction of thank you for coming, or is it thank you, or how do they respond?
The community both in Adel and Albany the response was overwhelming. I mean, bringing food, bringing water, asking us if we needed anything. As we were working, through the day and into the night and all that, it was overwhelming. The love and the support that was there. Every agency that was involved with us, just whatever we needed, we got it. Whatever they needed, they got it. It was unreal how everybody pulled together, every agency, and together we got everything done.
Do you know, and you may not know off the top of your head, what all other agencies were involved with these two sites?
Well, with Georgia Task Force 2, by itself, we have 8 fire departments that are involved with it throughout the southeast. You got Valdosta, Lowndes County, you got Tift County, you have Albany, which they were busy, so they were doing their own home front. You have Worth County, Lee County, Thomas County, Thomasville, and Moultrie.
Wait, Marcus, was your question at what other agency was responding?
Yeah.
Okay, because his answer, just so to clarify, that those are the people that make up the GSAR team in Task Force 2.
You talking about the agencies that I saw in Adel?
Yes.
The agencies that I was in contact with was, we had Valdosta Police Department was there, some Lowndes County Sheriff was there, of course the Sheriff Department with Cook County, GSP was there. I saw Enigma Fire Department, I saw Adel Fire Department, I saw Remerton Fire Department, I saw Lowndes County Fire Department, GSAR Task Force 2 was there, and there was other agencies that I'm not familiar with there, but there was, when I arrived on scene, there was probably about 100 individuals actively working to try to remedy the situation.
And in addition to that, it was also the Valdosta Police Department Crime Lab. It's the mobile crime lab unit, so just in case you guys, they were there too.
About what time did you guys get out there, after the tornadoes touched down?
Well, we got to Adel between 6 and 7 in the morning. We had to cut our way up there. We went up Valdosta Road, which was the easiest route to go to. And just before we got there was an oak tree across the road, so we had to cut that out in order to get through. We arrived on scene, I think it was 7:12 was the exact time we arrived on scene in Adel.
What time did you guys get the call again?
We got the call, I believe, a little after 5, between 5 and 6, shortly after it happened. And then I was notified, and we started rostering up the team to head that way.
So tell us a little bit about something about the Georgia Search and Rescue. What are your capabilities?
Georgia Search and Rescue, we specialize in 4 disciplines: structural collapse, confined space, trench rescue, and high anchor rescue. Of course, search and rescue is also involved with all of that. So we have all the equipment to locate and find victims that are trapped under debris. We also have all the equipment to lift heavy loads that might be on top of them. We continuously train and hone those skills so we can be ready when something happens, because there's no way to prepare for a tornado because we never know when it's going to hit. The guys that we had that went up to Adel, I'm the leader, I'm the task force leader of the whole group, and they make you look good or they make you look bad based on what you do, because I'm just telling them what to do. The guys that are on the team are just so highly skilled that it makes my job easy. They got right in there, they did what they were taught, they did what they were trained, and they took care of the problem. And they did it in a calm and a safe manner while they did it.
You had said that before we started that it was overwhelming, and you guys see a lot. So for you to say that it's overwhelming, what are these residents going through? I don't know if you talked to any of them.
The residents had already been evacuated by the time we got to Adel. The ones we come in contact with in Albany, one of the things we did with Georgia Search and Rescue Task Force 2 was go in and assess. The first day we went in there, assess, see if anybody was trapped. We cleared 70 trailers in the trailer park within a few hours up there in Albany. And the next day we went through several, I'd say 300 to 400 houses in a wide area, just checking to see if everybody was okay, double checking, make sure there was nobody trapped. And just the presence of us there seemed to calm the people. The people that we did come in contact with seemed to be doing well. In Albany, they'd been without power for 3 days when we went through Wednesday and checked on them. And they seemed to be in pretty good spirits, but it seemed like when they saw that there was a team coming through and checking on them again, that seemed to be comforting. A lot of them shared their stories with us, slowed us down a little bit, but it was comforting to them. They were sharing their stories, and a lot of them that went through this are truly blessed. It could have been way worse than what it was.
Can you talk a little bit about, obviously you guys went to Cook County first.
Right.
And then when did you hear about Albany, and how long between going from Cook County to Albany?
While we were, like I was saying, we were rostering up, getting all our team together as we were going up to Adel, and Albany is part of that. We called them up, and they were expecting to get hit, and they said they were going to see who they could get to come our way. And when we got there and was actively helping in Adel, they called me, the leader, my contact, Bruce Bennett with Albany, Captain Bennett, called me and said that they were not going to be able to come and help us because they had just got hit also. So it was something that was pretty drastic.
Did you guys move from Cook County to go straight to Albany, or did you, how did that?
We actually completed what we did in Adel at right at 3 o'clock. And we had enough time to drive home. Some of us got a little bit to eat. I had enough time to go home and change out of the wet clothes because while we were out there, it flooded. And we got the call from Chief Broom that said that we had been activated to go to Albany. So we came back, got back on the truck, and we headed to Albany. So Albany, we probably had, between Adel and Albany, we had a 2-hour downtime before we went to Adel. Adel, we arrived there at about 6 o'clock in the evening, and we got back here from Albany at 3:30 in the morning. And then we went back to Adel at 8 o'clock in the morning the next morning and stayed there until 6:30. And then we were down on Tuesday. And then Wednesday we went back up to Albany, and we didn't come back until last night about 6 o'clock. So we were busy.
Captain, your team members, how are they selected and what kind of training do they get?
We usually put it out for the Georgia Task Force, find out who's wanting to do it, And we kind of go through a process of who would be a good match for the team members. But all the different type of personalities and stuff, sometimes you kind of have to weed some of them out that might not click with a group. Fortunately, firefighters, the bond that we have together and everything, firefighters, if you've ever been firefighters very long, we're a big family. We're a bunch of big kids, and we get along good. We play hard, we train hard, but when we have a shortage, we just put it out there, and then we take the volunteers, and then we kind of thin it through based on their experience, based on seniority and training that they already have, and then we put them through the classes to be certified on Georgia Search and Rescue.
Now, I would imagine that some of the disasters that you are deployed to, I mean, it's pretty tough to deal with. We're all human. Is there any type of psychological training that members receive to deal with that?
We have a CISM program that we have here in Valdosta, so we activate that team whenever we need it. But when we do, before we start any mission, we always start out with a safety briefing. And one of the safety briefings, and something that firefighters have trouble with sometimes, is admitting defeat. If something's bothering them, we usually bottle it up and just handle it ourselves. During the safety mission, before we went into Albany, I talked with the men and told them that if anybody had a problem, to come to me, and it would be handled quietly, and there would be no repercussions. Because some of the things we see, we hear about the military coming back with PTSD, but some of the stuff that we see right here on the home front is the same thing or worse. So we have a CISM team, crisis intervention team here that we can call on any time. Usually when it's a real serious deal, we'll automatically call them in and just debrief and have people talk as needed.
I walked away for a second, but did you talk about how vital this is to Valdosta in our region? I mean, there's only how many GSAR teams in the state? Did you already cover that?
I didn't cover
I mean, it's
that.
pretty significant because we're one of, it used to be 4, but I think now there's
8 now.
There's 8 in the entire state of Georgia, with a huge responsibility of not only training the people, but also being ready at a moment's notice to do something like what they just did. So would you speak on behalf of that and how valuable it is to Valdosta, the Lowndes County, and the surrounding region that we have this resource here?
Right. One of the advantages we had was during Hurricane Hermine. When Hermine came in, we went ahead and notified all the task force members. And of course, Hermine was coming through every area that's a member of the task force. This truck stayed here in Valdosta to respond for what we needed, whether it be here in Valdosta or the outer areas. We actually responded to 3 different calls in that truck here in Valdosta for trees down on houses with some people trapped in them. And that was handled with the crew that we had here, because the other resources that we had, the other members of the team, were handling their calls too. So sometimes it's just an in-house deal where we have to respond in this truck with our people. Valdosta has currently about 15 members on the task force team, which is a big piece of the total team. And we called people in and had them staffed during that time of Hermine. This truck also responds anytime we have any kind of serious accident out on the interstate. If there's entrapment, we roll this truck out there. It's got all the equipment that we need on there. If we need to get somebody out of a pinned vehicle, it's got the airbags, the air shores, everything you would need to handle that kind of call. The importance of this team here for us is what we've just seen. We had a tornado hit Langdale, and it was activated there. The good thing about having this truck here for us is if it happens right here in Valdosta, we can get the ball rolling immediately, versus the other departments that are members of this team, they've got to wait for us to get there with the tools. So it's a big plus to have this truck here housed in Valdosta.
Captain, where's your funding come from? Is it from the state?
Funding is state and federal. We get grants that we do and that we can purchase equipment with, and upkeep of equipment. Because the truck's here, it's got to be serviced. So we have some service we do in-house, and then the new equipment and stuff like that, it's always changing. Some of it gets old, and just over time, with just training with the equipment, you're doing wear and tear on it, and it has to be replaced. And that's all done through federal and state grant money.